look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to be discussing in this reaction video, man, I'm going to talk about Mr. Tom Homan, if I'm saying his name right, or Homan. He is the former ICE or ICE director, okay? Trump has made him the new border czar, quote unquote. And I want you to see this man is a real straight shooting by the book man. Very aggressive man, but not in a mean way, just very passionate about what he's trying to do. Now, for those of you who don't know who this guy is, I'm going to play a clip of him, about 4 or 5 minutes, so you get more familiar with him. And then we're going to go into the plan that he has with a Hannity Combs interview with him on how he's going to deport the illegal people, as he calls them. And he has a zero tolerance policy, which means if you come here illegally and you have children here and your children are born on American soil and the parent is illegal, he's willing to separate them. And he even said in one clip, I don't know if I have it here, that all the family could go. Now, this is not to be political or anything like that. I just put the facts out there. If you're new to my channel, you will find out on the Jeremy Hill Show, I don't shy away from any topic. Nothing is taboo here. So let's go ahead and get into this thing right quick. Let me introduce you to Mr. Tom Homan. Oh, 1 second. I got to put on there. Pardon me, y'all. Boom. Okay. Let's get it.
I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I've worked for said they're going to secure the border. President Trump actually did it. He created the most secure border in our history, and that's a stone cold fact. The data proves it, and guess what? He's going to do it again.
There he is. That's Mr. Tom, man. He is not playing, man. We're going to keep going.
Estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Many that you recommended family separation,
I recommend zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
Now, here's the thing right here, what people don't want to hear. This man is right. There are laws that are in place in this country for a reason. These laws are here to protect the citizens of America, those who are actually legal, okay? I think the disconnect comes when people emotions get involved, when people want the system to have grace and mercy. Now, if you're a black person, and I'm speaking from the black experience, how much grace and mercy have you received out here in America yourself? That's one thing I want to say. But the other thing is the idea of that families are being separated is what makes people cringe, okay? People, you got to understand, they're not saying that they don't want people here. I think that's where one of the biggest disconnects is. They're not saying we don't want people to come to the country. What we are saying is we want people to come to this country legally with extensive background checks. These things that people are asking for these people to come legally is to protect the American citizens that are here. Now, not everyone who come over here illegally is a gang member. Not everyone who comes over here is a person who commits RAPE. But there are people who come over here who do both of those things. And without a proper vetting system, you leaving the floodgates open for potential disasters to happen. Murders can ensue. All kinds of things can happen. So the fact that Americans are requesting, it don't matter what party you claim, but I think it's sensible to want some type of system to vet people who come over here, and that they should come here legally. You know, you can't go to no other country illegally without charges. If I fly to Japan, I got to go the right way to get to Japan. If I want to go to Jamaica, I got to follow whatever system they got in place, what is required of me in order for me to go to Jamaica. If I want to go to Russia, if I want to go to here, if I want to go there, every country has a legal protocol that everyone has to obey in order to come into it. And if you go in any other way, then you will be considered illegal there as well. You get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of this is just people being emotional. I do understand their point. I do get what they're saying. But we can't throw away the laws that are in place to protect the American citizens. Now, this is my humble opinion, right? I'm not telling you to side with me, to side with Democrats, to side with Republicans or anything. This is my personal insight on that issue. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay. Mr. Chair, the memo is...
Spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens. I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Boy, some people about to kiss some hell right now because this dude is really serious, man.
National security threat, though?
If I'm in charge of this, my priorities are public safety threats and national security threats first.
First implies others follow, though, right?
Absolutely.
So game that out for me. What's the scenario?
It's not okay to enter a country illegally, which is a crime. That's what drives illegal immigration. When there's no consequences, the Biden-Harris administration has proven this. You can get to the border, turn yourself in, get released within 24 hours.
Border legally, it's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it.
Have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, you know, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Man, I ain't trying to talk bad about nobody, man, but I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. That lady could never answer no question, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I call her lady, man. So I'm trying to show respect for all y'all who be getting mad, but at the end of the day, I'll be respectful. But she never really could answer any questions, man. To me, you know, but I don't know. And I know I'll probably lose some subscribers on this episode too. Boy, I just can't stop telling the truth or putting facts out there, man. I just gotta be me, man. Let's keep going.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime is walking back in the White House. He tells me, we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border down.
He got 60 days to do it. You know how Trump is. Now let's go into the interview that this gentleman had, right? He's going to really break down a little bit more how he's intending to, because he's running the whole thing. Trump has placed him over everything when it comes to deportation, and he's running the whole show. He has full authority and full power. Can you dig it? Now let me put this up here. Hope y'all having a good day today. You dig what I'm saying? Let me make sure it's on your screen. All right. Let's get it, Jack.
Are you planning on deporting American citizens?
Exactly not. Look, the view, it's like an island of misfit toys. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. President Trump has made it clear. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first. And that's what the focus will be. And there's over 1.5 convicted criminal aliens in this country with final orders removal that we're going to be looking for. There's thousands of gang members, illegal alien gang members we're going to be looking for. Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country illegally, you shouldn't feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
Again.
Cartels, gang.
Again, what he's saying is true. If you enter into this country illegally, you are a criminal. It doesn't matter what situations you had prior to you coming here. It doesn't matter, and it sounds cold, but the law is the law, right? No matter how you feel about it, the law is the law. Regardless of if you're running from something or if you're just coming here for a better opportunity, if you don't come here the correct way, you will be considered underneath the law, as per the Attorney General, as an illegal person. This is where they get their illegal immigrant and all this stuff. They call it migrants, all this stuff. You're not here legally. Again, it's not that people don't want other people here. They just want to feel protected and have a system in place to vet the people who come here and prefer for them to come here legally. It's kind of hard to say something like, you should just trust me and believe that I'm not a bad person when you have already came here illegally, which would make anyone think that you are already a bad person, because now you are considered a criminal regardless of how good in character you are. And you might actually come here just trying to start a new life. We get that. America is the land of opportunity. We all need that chance, right? But we all need to come here the right way. I don't know why this is a big deal in this country, because in all the other countries I went to when I was in the military, they always had stuff like that in place. Okay? This is nothing new. And then when it comes to these walls and this stuff and people get mad about, I'm going to tell you, nearly every other country has some type of wall or some type of boundary, something put in place to keep people from coming from one thing to almost all of them. Not all of them, but majority. I ain't gonna say majority because it's a big word. I say a lot of them do. You get what I'm saying? So I just say, without everyone getting upset, let's just reason this out and just think about what is legal. And once we identify what the problem is, then maybe we can put some things in place to help people who want to come here only if they want to come here legally. Cause I think Trump said when he get in office, he said he gonna do this mass deportation. And then he also said if any of those people return illegally, they will get a mandatory sentence of 10 years. Mandatory. He is putting in place stiff consequences. Like this man here said, Tom Homan, there needs to be consequences. And this administration that's coming up, you're going to see a lot of changes, man. You can see it right now.
Gang members We have had dozens and dozens of Americans that have been murdered. I'll scroll their names again. We have had dozens of Americans, including children, that have been raped by Harris Biden unvetted illegals. We have hundreds and hundreds of Americans victims of violent crime. We have a fentanyl crisis. We have an opioid crisis. We have cartels. We have gang members. We have 13,000 illegal immigrant murderers inside our country. We have known terrorists inside our country. We have more than 15,000 convicted rapists and sex offenders inside our country. More than 2,500 kidnappers inside our country. Or all told, more than 400,000 criminal, illegal immigrants, including known terrorists. They're here, but we don't know where they are. How are we going to find them to get rid of them?
Look, ICE is very good at what they do. We have a targeting system. I can't really talk about it on the air because it's law enforcement sensitive, but we're going to find them. And look, we're going to go get them. I saw today numerous governors from sanctuary states saying they're going to step in the way. They better get the hell out of the way. Either you help us or get the hell out of the way, because ICE is going to do their job. We're going to take the handcuffs off ICE that the Biden administration put on them and let ICE what they do best. And let me say this. Back to the viewer, Joe Biden. They promised, this administration promised, they're going to concentrate on the criminal aliens. That was a priority. Secretary Mayorkas said it. I looked at the stats today. The removal of criminal aliens is down 74% from President Trump. We have more criminals here than we ever had. So we got plenty of targets out there, and the men and women of this new administration are going to go look for them. They're going to look for them in sanctuary cities. If sanctuary cities don't want help, get out of the way. I'll double the workforce in that sanctuary city. We're going to do our job. Despite the politics, we're doing it. So get used to it, because we're coming.
This guy is really, really serious. I want you to understand, man, that American citizens do have the right to feel safe in this country. As an Afghanistan veteran myself, and other people who came before me, who fought in all the wars out here, who bled and died out here for your right to feel protected out here, we can say something about that. You dig what I'm saying? Again, this ain't pointing nobody out and trying to be mean and stuff like that. It's just about protecting our own. That's what we need to do. For some reason, certain administrations, certain presidents, over the past, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever you want to call it, they take our resources, our money, and give it to other people in other countries and help them. Have you ever noticed that the other countries, United Nations, other people, don't help other countries as much as we do when we have all the wars in our country? We got the homeless. We got the impoverished. We got problems with our infrastructure. We need to get ahead in technology. We got high school, college dropout rates. We got all kind of things going on that we can take the money, the taxpayers' money, and apply here, instead of always trying to be Superman and help everybody else out. You get what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with helping people out, but I'm saying you have people here who are in need. The education system need to be reformed. The judicial system need to be reformed. There's a lot of things we got on our plates here. This is just another thing. You dig what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Let me ask you this. Do you like the idea of maybe giving a grace period where people that did not respect our laws, borders, sovereignty, that maybe you give them 2 or 3 months and you say you can self-report and we will help deport you. We will send you back to your home country. And if you do that, we'll put money in your pocket so you can rebuild your life. Which would be a lot cheaper than paying for 3 nights at a 4-star hotel in New York and giving them a debit card. And in a year, after a year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is, you can then apply to come into the country legally. If you don't self-report, deport, then you will never be given an opportunity at citizenship. And when you leave, you will never be invited back. You will never be able to apply to come into the country. Sound like a good idea or no?
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport. Because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you. So if you want to self-deport, that's fine. But criminals and gang members, they get no favors from this administration. You came to this country illegally, which is a crime. You committed crimes against the United States citizens, some heinous crimes. you get no grace period, so we're coming for you. But for those others, the non-criminals, you want to self-deport, I'm all for it. Because when they self-report, they can put their orders, put everything in order, their family business, if they got homes or whatever, they can put all that in order and leave with their family altogether. It makes perfect sense for the ones that are not criminals and not priorities.
How are they going to get home? How do they get home?
Well, the ones we're going to arrest, we'll put on an airplane and send them home. And the ones that want to go home on their own, they found their way across the world to come to the greatest nation on earth. They can find their way home. Either that, or I'll give them a free airline ticket that we put them on our airplane and we'll take them home. Either way, it's up to them. If we arrest them, they come on our airplane, Sean. If they want to go on their own airplane, look, I welcome it.
Let me ask you this: if I went down to the border and I had a truck, and I picked up people that were known illegal immigrants, entered the country illegally, and I put them in the truck and I fed them, and I said to them, where would you like to go? And they said, this state, that state, and I were to drive them to whatever location they were asking for. Would I not be guilty of human trafficking? Would I not be guilty of aiding and abetting and law breaking? In all likelihood, if Harris and Biden, if their DOJ found out I did that, well, what are the odds they would have arrested me and put me in jail for as long as they possibly could, probably the rest of my life?
You'd be arrested and charged with a felony. You'd be in violation of Title 8, United States Code 1324, alien smuggling. I put a lot of people in prison for that, for violation of that statute. That's what's supposed to happen. And you're exactly right. This administration is complicit in the smuggling of millions of people into this country. And we look at just the children. We have over 500,000 children that were smuggled in this country by criminal cartels that this administration released their so-called sponsors, 500,000, and they can't find them. And that's something I want to talk about real quickly. President Trump is committed. This is just not a deportation operation that we're targeting the worst of the worst first. We're going to find those 500,000 children. We're going to save them. We'll put them back to their families. That's what President Trump's committed to doing.
And you're talking about the children that were used by criminal illegal immigrants that don't even know these children, and they use them to get into the country. We know that's happened on a large scale, correct?
Absolutely. Children have been rented by the criminal cartels to single males, go across the border, be released. The child goes back, gets re-rented again. And we know what happens to these children, Sean. And look, the illegal aliens coming across the border, people need to understand, 31% of women that make that journey get raped by criminal cartels. Children get raped. I've talked to little girls as young as 9 that have been raped multiple times. These cartels are animals, and that's why President Trump's going to take them off the face of the earth. They have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world. And President Trump is committed to calling them terrorist organization and use the full might of the United States Special Operations to take them out.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You hear the plan? I'm very curious to see what y'all gonna say on the comments on this particular episode. I'm sure people are gonna have something to say. You know, we all do. Well, anyway, I'll be talking to y'all pretty soon. Y'all take it easy now. You hear?